We had the story from the New York Post. Matt Walsh, in his new film, Am I Racist? This one, I think, may be better than What is a Woman? He hits this one out of the park. He tricked race, academic, whatever you want to call it, critical race theorist or whatever, Robin DiAngelo, into paying his black producer reparations. Apparently, she pulls money out and gives it to him.
Yeah, say what you want about Matt Walsh, but it sounds like he's pulled off a major troll here. I can hardly wait to see where this goes, but it sounds good from the start. Robin DiAngelo, of course, is author of White Fragility, a notorious book in which she calls on everybody not only to be not racist, but they must be actively anti-racist. Is that what it is? Basically, yes, white people bad, everybody else good, time to pay reparations. Let's see what Matt Walsh got up to. This sounds like it's going to be good.
Oh, man. But you know what's really funny about this is I don't think she'll face any criticism on the left for this. She's going to be praised for having done it. From the New York Post. White Fragility author Robin DiAngelo was hoodwinked into dipping into her own pocketbook to pay reparations to a black producer in it's so racist in Matt Walsh's upcoming documentary, Am I Racist? An undercover man bun wearing Walsh, 38. What? Matt Walsh is 38? Really? Is he really? He's 38. What? Matt Walsh is younger than me?
Yeah, Tim, wearing that beanie 24/7 is not making you look any younger.
What? That's the biggest shock.
Sorry if anybody out there is a Tim Pool fan. I'm not against Tim Pool, don't get me wrong, but I think that beanie has got to go, frankly. You know, if you're bald, like me, but for that matter, just own it, bro. Anyway, let's get back to Matt Walsh's epic troll.
I've heard, not the story. It's that Matt Walsh is 3 months younger than me. Woof. I'm sorry. It's the Korean in me. I just can't grow the beard. So anyway, Matt Walsh goaded DiAngelo into ponying up the cash to his producer, Ben, to compensate for the sins of the past by first coughing up the money himself. Walsh, who had been conducting an interview with DiAngelo for a documentary project while feigning anti-racist sentiments and posing as an activist, summoned Ben after finishing up most of his questions. This is Ben, a producer on the film. I thought it would be a powerful opportunity to speak directly to a person of color and confront our racism and also apologize for the white supremacist system that oppresses Ben, Walsh began.
Oh, this is looking like a good troll, all right. Yeah, Matt Walsh's producer, black producer Ben, is being oppressed right there in the room with him.
Look at his pants. He's in disguise. DiAngelo, 68, followed suit saying, on behalf of myself and my fellow white people, I apologize. It's not you, it is us. As long as I am standing, I will do my best to challenge it. Walsh then announced that he'd pay Ben reparations if he'd accept it. Prompting his producer to quip, I mean, I won't turn it down. Walsh then handed Ben a few bills from his wallet. That doesn't make up for 400 years of oppression, but it's all that I have to give, Walsh said. Taking hold of the new cash, patting his wallet, Ben, fully in on the ruse, explained that he doesn't know if it's ever enough, but praised Walsh for putting in the work and acknowledged the small progress I think we made today.
I love how they master the language of the libtards here. Putting in the work, 400 years of oppression, amazing. Brilliant troll, absolutely brilliant. And and Matt Walsh's look, that hair, everything, his what he's wearing, his hair, the glasses, just everything, brilliant.
DiAngelo looked introspective and bewildered as it unfolded. That was really weird, a perplexed and nearly speechless DiAngelo gasped before formulating a response after Walsh asked, did you want to pay any? I think reparations is like a systemic, dynamic approach yet. I mean, I think there may be some people who would be offended by that. Ben explained that he wouldn't turn down cash. A solemn-looking Walsh then stressed the need to allow ourselves to be uncomfortable. Wow, man.
Brilliant. He's just throwing all that language right back at her. Absolutely brilliant.
And bravo. This is something that I can do right now. And asked, why wouldn't I? I can go get some cash for sure. She relented after struggling to beat back Walsh and Ben's logic. I don't mind if that would be something that would be comfortable for you. After getting Ben's blessing, D'Angelo then walked over to her pocketbook, pulled out roughly $30 and told him, that's all the cash that I have. Holy crap. Thanks.
Yeah, holy uber boomer libtard. Robin DiAngelo, this is absolutely brilliant. I can't believe she went to her wallet and pulled out some money to give to Matt Walsh's producer, Ben, who is in on this epic troll. Absolutely brilliant. I can hardly wait to see the final movie.
Smiling Ben replied, when D'Angelo sat down with Walsh earlier in the documentary, she asked for quick information about who he was, noting that she has to be careful. D'Angelo's book, White Fragility, Why Is It So Hard for White People to Talk About Racism, hit bookshelves back in 2018 and helped her gain fame as a so-called anti-bias training expert. The New York Times best-selling tome features some controversial assessments of racism. She claimed that white people raised in Western society are conditioned into a white supremacist worldview because it is the bedrock of our society and its institutions.
Normally, people raised in any society, Western, Eastern, Southern, African, Indian, Chinese, whatever, of course, are raised with the worldview of that society and that community. That's the way it is. Just like if you're raised in your family, you are inevitably molded by your parents. So with the larger community and society around you, it's only normal.
And another point she wrote in the book, people of color may also hold prejudices and discriminate against white people, but they lack the social and institutional power that transform their prejudice and discrimination into racism. The impact of their prejudice on whites is temporary and contextual.
Yeah, this is another libtard thing that I've just never really understood. Well, I do understand it, actually. This whole thing about redefining words. So, as an old Gen Xer myself, the word racism, well, let's put it this way. Words have meanings. They have, they have definitions. Some words can mean many things. Some words, the meaning of certain words changes over time, can change over decades or over the centuries. That happens a lot. Racism is a pretty straightforward word. It just means discriminating against someone or hating someone or disliking someone or feeling ill will towards someone based on their race, quite simply. Or if you prefer, based on their ethnic background. Race itself is, people argue about whether racism, whether race even exists. That's another thing I find very funny about this. All sorts of libtards and leftists and, people of that ilk will say, oh, there's no such thing as race. It's a social construct. It's a social construct. Well, if there's no such thing as race, then how can there be racism? Checkmate, libtard. Now, of course there's discrimination. Groups discriminate against each other on the basis of all sorts of things. It can be obvious things like ethnic background, or race, if you like. Race is just kind of a bigger, like a hold-all term for multiple ethnic backgrounds. So, in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, there are many, many ethnicities. But, traditionally, we've, in the West, have referred to them as Black Africans, because it's sort of a superset of the various Black ethnicities, if you like, of sub-Saharan Africa. European ethnic groups are many. There are many European ethnic groups, many, many, many. But the overarching group that we've tended to call them or tended to put them into is white. That's the white race. So race is just like a superset of ethnicities. In any case, let's get back to the definition of racism, which is simply discrimination against someone on the basis of race or ethnicity. But then, several years ago, and I've heard this out in the wild, libtards started saying, well, it's not just racism. Racism doesn't just mean prejudice and discrimination, as is being said here, but it's the fact that it's, what is it, prejudice plus power. So only people who have the power in a society can be racist. Anybody can be bigoted. Anybody can be discriminatory. Anybody can be prejudiced. But the people who are in power, only they can be racist. And it's this constant playing with words, redefining words, that, gets my goat, I must admit. And it's just a way of constantly deflecting, redefining, much as we've seen more recently with the redefinition of man or woman, as Matt Walsh said in his movie, what is a man? Yeah, many people these days apparently have trouble defining it. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Oh, by the way, Robin DiAngelo here, of course, is speaking from the Western world point of view, which is, in the Western world basically means, for the most part, countries which are run by, or which have been settled by, run by, organized by, created by, maintained by people of European descent, either Europeans themselves in Europe or mainly in the Anglosphere. So United States, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Ireland, etc. With a couple of additions like South Korea and Japan thrown in there. Obviously, if you're in a country like, I don't know, Uganda, Nigeria, something like that, well, the overwhelming majority of people are going to be of a different race. And if some Europeans try to go there, and they might find that they get discriminated against. I guess, according to Robin DiAngelo, then that would be racism against them, because the people in power would be discriminating against them. Anyway, the whole thing seems nonsensical to me. Let's carry on.
Ironically, back in 2021, DiAngelo scored $12,750, a speaking fee, at the University of Wisconsin's Diversity Forum, considerably more than the $7,500 paid to its black female keynote speaker, Austin Channing Brown. Ain't that funny? More recently, DiAngelo has faced accusations of plagiarizing passages from minority scholars in her doctoral thesis, according to a complaint obtained by the Washington Free Beacon. We'll grab that one. The Post reached out to DiAngelo for comment. Walsh's documentary is set to hit the silver screen on September 13th and marks the Daily Wire's first flick to release in movie theaters. I think What is a Woman was in theaters, wasn't it? The film is intended to function as a deconstruction of the anti-racism movement, similar to how its 2022 documentary, What is a Woman, examined gender ideology under a critical lens. He went undercover and feigned a deep search into his soul to investigate the movement. Walsh's documentary also featured him crashing a high-dollar race to dinner in which he cajoled liberal white women at the table to raise their glasses and toast to being racist.
I haven't been going to the movies recently, but I think I might have to see this one. This sounds absolutely hilarious. I want to see these liberal white women at the table raising their glasses and toasting to being racist. Brilliant. Okay. I think that's enough commentary on that. Well done, Matt Walsh. I hope it is. I hope your movie is as good as it sounds. The Troll sounds immense and epic. And I look forward to seeing it. Let me know in the comments if you're going to be seeing this. What sounds like a hilarious troll movie by Matt Walsh, creator of What is a Woman. Looking forward to it.